All right. Well, this is the last topic I want to touch on, and this is anyone following the Meghan Markle Harry debacle.
I do.
In England.
I follow it.
Can you just give us a brief summary of bring us up to date for those that may not have been following?
All right. So my basic summary of it is that Meghan and Harry had got tired of dealing with all the bad press.
Yes.
And so they decided in the UK. So they decided that they wanted to separate themselves and lose their titles and start to make their own money and live away from, the spotlight and all that negativity. So they that's what they've done. They're planning on moving to Canada to set up shop.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conversation about it right now because people are trying to figure out, like, well, why are they doing that? They feel like you're kind of selling the name. Is it because of the racist, in my opinion, the racial tension that they have because Meghan is biracial?
Yeah.
I mean, well, she's something. But so that's really what's going on. That's the basics of it. So people are just really trying to figure out why are they doing it and what's the motivation. Is it really just because of all the bad press, or is it because they have bigger, higher hopes for themselves, like making their own money and building their own brand
based off of the royal name?
I mean, it's still the royal name is still attached to them.
It's still attached.
They're not
to
gonna.
them.
I mean, they're not the Sussexes anymore, but they people just want to know what the motivation is. Do they think they're gonna make more money on their own?
Yeah.
Do they just want the freedom? It just depends. I don't know what anyone's opinion is on it.
So what's Harry going to be doing in Canada?
Well, so that's the question because recently I think that it came out and they said that all his volunteer efforts that were tied to the royals he's not going to be able to do. Yeah. He won't be able to wear his uniform anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what his job is outside of philanthropy.
Yeah, because I know Meghan Markle. She's an actress. She's probably going to get back into.
Well, she has. She just signed. She just did a voiceover for a Disney documentary.
Shout out to Harry,
but she's
for
not
putting
getting
that
paid
onto
for
that.
that. Yeah, but she's not getting paid for it.
did?
They're donating the funds to the safari, something like that.
You didn't see the clip?
No.
It was during the Lion King thing where Beyonce and Jay-Z were there, and she was talking to them, and Harry was talking to the exec.
Yeah.
Saying, "Hey, my wife does voiceovers."
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I had no
He was
idea.
selling her out.
I think
Good
they
for
were
them.
planning this for a while.
And I like the guy, man. Like, he loves her, man. So
Yeah, because that's a big. Well,
it's a big step.
First of all, he's like eighth in line,
Yeah,
anyways. So he's not getting there anytime soon to
they
be
just salty,
king.
man. The fact that she's black is just like.
Yeah, that's the main thing. I believe that's the underline of all that negativity. And
So you think the only reason why the press goes after Meghan Markle is because she's black? All the other white celebrities in the UK that they go after, it's not because
the purity.
Period.
Because she's not. I don't even think that's the case.
It's more about
They're very. What's the term? But it's all about It's all about your birthright.
Yeah.
For these UK people, especially the royals, it's your birthright. Yeah. I think that it would have been a little bit better, even if she was biracial.
Yeah.
If she was one of their own or had some type of birthright.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been such a big or huge thing.
It also has to be said though that the British monarchy does have a history of American women coming.
Didn't they do it to Diana?
Well,
she's
not American.
She was just a commoner, but she's not.
She was a commoner.
Commoner.
Really? I always thought she was. I always thought she was like a distant relative, like in the.
No,
really.
She's not.
Yeah,
she's
so
a commoner.
Even if you have to
have no
some
idea.
type of like legacy, some type of birthright, come from some type of important family.
But it does have to be said that this wouldn't be the first time that an American would come into the royal family and end up taking.
Yeah, wasn't Grace Kelly? Was it Grace Kelly?
Yeah, I think it was Grace Kelly.
One of them. And she was a darling for the king that she married, and they loved her until she passed away.
And it was supposed to be the next. This guy was actually the next in line for the kingdom at that time, and because he married her, he got banished to the U.S. I mean, there's history behind this. He got banished to the U.S. And he had to lose his right. And his younger brother, I think that was the stutterer, King George, was the one that then assumed. So there's a bit of history to it that they're a little bit sensitive about. And I think that also plays a little bit into it, because now you have Meghan Markle pretty much doing the same thing, taking this guy. Well, the way they view it is that they're taking this guy away from his birthright, and they're taking another American woman, taking one of their royals. And I think that's why it's such a very, very, very bitter thing
I think
for.
it's part of it because he
for
had been
Brit.
dating a
So you don't
lot
think
of
black
women
doesn't play
who are
part?
not royal.
Now, I'm sure Black also.
Maybe
His
add
girlfriend
injury to
before
insults.
Yeah.
was not.
Maybe
girl-
that's injuries to insults. Insults
Yeah,
upon
just
injury.
being-
whatever.
Now, I'm sure.
that.
I'm sure the fact that she was black also played a factor into it too, for sure.
I think that's the
What basis?
largest.
You think that's the
of
main
it.
thing?
I think that's the main thing. I think they believe that she is selling their bloodline,
Mm.
and then on top of that, now you're leaving,
And then she,
and he's leaving for this black girl.
and then she
And-
comes from a quote unquote dysfunctional family.
Yeah, it
Well,
just
I don't
makes
even
it
think her
worse.
family's as dysfunctional as they're just jealous.
Jealous fan.
And because I don't believe
being
that she really
jealous
had that
is
type of relationship with
dysfunctional.
her father and her sister
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think they're
So-
just jealous.
So that even just makes everything seem so like, yep, typical, kind of stuff. But
Yeah, she's hood.
but yeah, she's
We
hood.
told
That's
you.
the word exactly.
She's
That's
this
the
little ratchet bunny.
But I have to say though, I find it ballsy that they can just be like, you know what, fuck it, we're not even doing this anymore. And for me, I feel like it's a reflection of our generation and how we don't see this, all these old establishment monarchies and old way of doing things. We're not as attached to it as older generations.
Nope.
But he lost his mother to this as well,
That
and I
too.
think that also plays a
That
part
too.
in his decision.
That too.
And I mean, his mother was killed because they were so fascinated with her, whether it was good press or bad press. The paparazzi were chasing her, and she ran. What, did she run into the wall?
Yeah,
Because they're trying to get away. He doesn't want that for his family.
that is true.
I'm sure he doesn't. So
That is true.
and moving out of the country, I think is actually the ballsy part of it. Because if they stayed, that would be different. But they're like, nah, let's just go to Canada. Let's start a new life.
But
Eventually,
Canada,
they'll probably end up
they're
in
probably not
California.
gonna be out there for long.
Yeah, I don't
Just
think they're
like
gonna
the
be out there
first
long.
stop, let's
yeah,
go there.
no one's moving.
wanna
Like
build
the fact
a
that they're
family.
moving to Canada, and apparently the Canadians don't even like that they're coming to their country.
Because they don't want all that fanfare
They
in
don't
their
want.
country.
They don't want all that. I don't know.
Should be
I
alright,
feel
man.
like
they'll be all right.
I feel like they'll
As
thrive.
long as
in
they can
LA.
make money, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be
I'm
fine.
just curious what Harry will do. What does he do?
What is he's going to
guess
do? The
we're
same
gonna
thing he
find
does
out.
right now.
Travel around and give money?
Philanthropy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Well,
I
we'll
would-
see.
This
sound-
doesn't start. Wait, how does he make money? In
Well,
the
because
first
he's
place?
not supposed to be doing any. He's not
Well, how
supposed
does
to
he
be
make
working
money?
with
How
companies.
does he make money
Right now, he gets
Oh, yeah,
an income.
taxpayers.
He gets an income from the royal family.
And he will still keep getting the income.
No, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
the income is
They're
done.
cutting them off.
He actually has to
Yeah.
pay back like 2.5 million or whatever
I'm
for
sure
the
he's thought
house that
about
they
it.
renovated.
But-
Actually, his brother's gonna help him, or his father.
They
is
would
gonna help him
have.
pay
They would
for
have
it.
people. Yeah, they would have money from places. They would have. They would still. And I'm
He has
sure,
an
like,
inheritance too.
I'm sure, like,
They're
officially
fine.
under the table, he will still be getting paid from someone.
Most
That-
likely.
Megan's got money
They're,
too.
they're not gonna.
Yeah,
Well,
they're not
she
gonna-
She does?
She,
No.
our
From
money,
what?
Our
From
money is
Suits?
not. Our
I
money is
might
not
be-
his
no.
kind of money.
Not from Suits.
Her money is her money is not his kind of money. But nah, they would definitely make him. The family will. He would have people in the family that are on his side. People he's probably spoken to before he did this,
Yeah.
and he's fine. He's not stupid.
She does seem to have a pretty big fan base. I mean, clearly we have one fan here already in the room with us, but it is what it is.
Like a Mark,
Question.
I could care less.
Why do Americans? Why do people all over the world in general why are they so fascinated by the royal family?
Good question.
I don't see the. big
They're
deal.
only fascinated by it now.
Yeah, I
And
don't know.
Americans
What
are
do they do for
fascinated
us?
by it now. That's why I say I could care less.
I
about
guess
the royal
because
family.
they're kings and queens, and it's
We
still
have
just
kings
this
and queens in
antiquated thing.
Africa, all over Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
they don't
the
talk
panache.
about them as much.
the panache.
I don't know who they
behind-
are.
Why don't we talk about
No,
that?
also
Good
yeah,
question.
No,
That's
no,
a-
but
Good
That's a whole
question.
nother thing because
Wait.
in my
I don't even know who
mind,
Prince Harry. Who are these
wait.
people?
but Prince
No,
Harry,
no,
I remember
let's-
when I
let's-
was a kid getting those
the
word up. I don't know what they were.
But
Word
why?
up, but he was in them. He was in those little magazines. Him and his brother.
Why?
What do
Why
they like
they
to
put
eat?
them in the magazines? Like, what do these people do for us? Why are they on the
But
news?
in-
I remember when
in-
they
but
got
in-
married, they were
in-
everywhere. Why?
Yeah,
They're almost like
they
this.
do nothing for me.
They're almost like
but
this.
I guess it's still fascinating
they're,
for that.
They're like this
for that
class of
aspect.
people that are considered more higher than the commoners. That's why you have the commoners and you have the royals, and it's almost like they are on a higher level. Pretty much, they put them on
they
this
have
pedestal.
a lot of protocols.
I mean, they're not
they
higher really
involved
than the
in.
president.
It's-
So they're better than me. and you.
They're figurehead.
Well, kind of. Well, that's how they're viewed in the UK.
They're a figurehead. The queen has no political power.
Yeah, although she does get consulted. Though.
I thought she did.
doesn't
She-
have
I
she
thought
gets
she had a little bit.
consulted.
I thought they had
No, it's
some
the prime
rights and
minister.
leeway. Oh yeah, the prime minister. But I
Yeah.
thought they still sat on some sort of board or panel.
Yeah,
with
it's,
that.
Yeah.
it's more ceremonial.
It's more
than
ceremonial,
anything.
yeah. She doesn't have any political
But
power, so it's
I
fair.
agree. No, you brought up
we
a
were
good
just
point.
talking
Onyade.
about it.
How come we do not elevate our own royals
Well,
in?
you are saying
like-
how come you can't expect a foreigner to come tell your story about the Oba of Ife or the king of Benin Kingdom, which is one of the light skin. We as a people
Fair point.
need to tell the stories ourselves. Then the king
Fair
of
point.
Benin Kingdom too is what is he doing to make
That's
his,
another
his
point that I
kingdom,
made too, yeah.
you know, what is he doing to? And then we have a lot of very ceremonial titles in Nigeria too. Anybody can be a king.
It doesn't have to just be Nigeria.
I'm
There are
just using. I
royals
can
all
speak
over
about
Africa.
Nigeria, but you know, and so these people to themselves, what are they doing? You know, you have the royal family where it's the family. They all live in England, or they used to. They have these protocols. They have the house. They have everything. In Nigeria, like I remember, I tried to get into the history of the king of Oni of Ife because Olashe was close to Ife, and they took us as excursion there. And
Yeah.
it was just the building seemed the palace part of it seemed a little run down. They couldn't really give me proper history about, you know, things. Artifacts were not kept well. You know, it was just.
Oh, by the way, the king of Ife is supposed to be like our ancestral
Yes.
you
know,
king,
things
like
were
for
not-
all Yorubas, for everyone in our tribe, in my tribe.
Yes,
basically.
and they were. It just wasn't even. You know, they tried to tell me the story of how, you know, Yoruba started and the guy coming down from the sky and everything, and the landmarks were worn out. They were not. You know, it just. I wasn't interested, man. That's just what I'm trying to say. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't make me feel as cool as going to Buckingham Palace and taking a picture next to the guy in the.
See, I
But
just
It wasn't
part of your-
packaged.
I hate all the
It wasn't
fear.
packaged
Is this
properly.
part of the oral history? Is this you're talking to me about, or is this like?
This is history.
No,
of-
it's-
Like
this
actual history?
It's the history
Well, no,
of,
no,
our,
I mean
of our
like-
of our
ancestors.
yeah.
Well, the reason I said that is because I just know that I was asking like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, but it's
Because
the
I'm just
history.
saying like the oral history that I heard, like the griot type of stories, or this is like actual. This has happened.
This
you
is
guys
what
have.
they say happened.
Okay.
Oh, but it's more myth though.
I think it's myth.
There's more.
So that's
myth
why I was
to it.
curious about. I don't know how
No,
to
it-
frame that question.
yeah.
but
Oh,
that's what I
no.
was-
This is
was
what they
I'm
claim
wondering.
is the history. I don't believe
Yeah.
somebody came from the sky.
Yeah,
So,
but it's more myth. But
You know.
but
I like that story though.
they
but-
show you like there's there's like a chain. They're like, this is the chain he used to come from his scam. Like, why is it only like 1 feet tall? But
we actually have a
Versus
we actually have
imaginary. You
a
have to use your
descendant.
imagination.
Yeti is actually a descendant of him, and she is too.
Okay.
So we have quite a few
then
princesses.
they showed me where one of the gods. There's a